Hey guys, what's up? It's the Impeccable Investor here, and if you're watching this YouTube channel, then you want to learn the complete A to Z investing guide. We're going to start off on how to open a brokerage, how to analyze the fundamentals and technicals of a company, as well as the top 3 investing approaches, all in a short video. I'm hoping to keep it under 15 minutes. Now guys, if you've never been to this channel, I am the Impeccable Investor, and I teach people how to invest their own hard-earned money so that they can all retire early. That is what we are focusing on in this YouTube video and series. So again, guys, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and please hit the alerts button so you get notified of the weekly educational investing content that I provide. All right, now let's get into that video to make you an investor. Alright guys, quickly before we get into the video, I just wanted to discuss that the first link in this YouTube video will actually give you access to a free investing course that I made for y'all. I want y'all to be able to learn, so I put together this comprehensive course over stock market explained, analyzing companies, dividend investing, the market sectors, everything you could ever want to know all in one. So please go click this link and give you access to it. Remember, this video is going to be a brief overview, but if you want everything more complex, more understandable, and you want to have a comment section where other people can chat, then make sure you join this course. All right, now let's get into the first start of how to open a brokerage. Alright, to start off, this is the best online brokers for stock trading. That's literally what I typed in online. So what I personally use is I use Robinhood because they were commission free. I mean, they still are, but so are all these other big platforms. They are now commission free. I also have a TD Ameritrade account, which is going to be my go-to account. I love that account for sure because of the charting system. But you have TD Ameritrade, you have Fidelity, you have Charles Schwab, E-Trade, Interactive Brokers, Merrill Edge, and TradeStation. Now, the brokers you want to go for if you are a US-based investor is going to be TD Ameritrade, Charles Schwab, and Fidelity, maybe E-Trade if you feel like it. Now, however, I'm going to say there are other platforms not listed on here like M1 Finance or Webull that also work just as great. However, if you are a non-US based stock investor, you want to make sure that you are looking at Interactive Brokers, TradeStation, and maybe a few others. Now remember, you can always open any internet browser and type in brokerage stock brokers in my country and you'll get a list of all the brokerages that are there. Now, so for opening a TD Ameritrade, I'm actually going to show you how to do that right now. When you want to sign up for a TD Ameritrade account, this is what it's going to look like. The first step is selecting the account that you want to use. Now, so if you're pursuing retirement, you're actually going to want to look in the retirement section. You have the IRAs and the 401ks, which are provided through a company. This is provided by yourself. Now, remember, my own tip would be, again, I'm not a financial advisor, but my own tip would be if you want to make your own IRA, make sure it's a Roth, because then you do pay taxes when you initially put the money in, but you don't have to pay taxes when you withdraw it. And usually when you withdraw money, it is a lot more. So you don't want to pay taxes on all of that money. But now a traditional brokerage account that you will be opening is an individual brokerage. So you'll click on here, you'll click open an individual brokerage, and it'll simply go through the steps. You just say yes, no, you select your names, your emails, your everything. Right here, you can all do that. Now, if you prefer to do it written, you can download the application instead, and you can send it off in the mail to them, given you have some proof of your passport, visa, security number, etc., etc., etc. It's going to be just like this on every single brokerage firm. It is super simple. It's just a web-based platform where you just fill in information about yourself. You'll have personal, financial, review, and agreements, and then it'll be over. It literally can get set up in a matter of a day, and it usually takes a day to get verified. All right, guys, it is that easy to set up a brokerage account. Now let's get into what stocks are and how to actually analyze them. All right, let's quickly go through the stock market terms for you if you have no idea. When you buy, that means you actually purchase shares in a company. When you sell, you are selling those shares, which means you no longer have any right over the stock. All right, now let's go through stuff that I think you should actually know. Bull market is going to be when the stocks go up in price. This is considered a higher high, higher low. So you're looking for the lows of the stock to get higher and the highs of the stock to also get higher. We'll be looking at this when we go over technical analysis in a second. Bear market is the exact opposite. That is where your lows get lower and your highs also get lower, meaning that the stock is going down in direction. Now you have a bunch of different orders you can fill, but that's on a different story, more about the brokerage firm, but they usually provide education for their platform. At least TD Ameritrade does. So volatility right here, this fire, is simply how fast a stock moves up and down. If you don't want to open yourself up to that much risk, then you're going to want a stock that is on the lower side of volatility. Now you can tell that from beta. I don't know if it talks about beta on here, but beta is the average volatility or the average amount of movement in the normal stock market. The lower the beta, the lower the risk. Liquidity is your ability to get in and out of a stock. That's why it has this little arrows. You want to be able to get in and out as quickly as possible. Because if you want to be able to sell a share and it's not liquid, then you won't be able to sell it to anyone. Because the stock market is a transactional market. You need to have a buyer for every seller and a seller for every buyer. That's just how it works. Now, IPO is an initial public offering. This is when a company decides they want to put their stock on the market. For instance, Beyond Meat is a company. They wanted to have a stock. They released an IPO. Now they have shares that you can buy to own that company. There are other things such as ETFs, which are exchange traded funds. These are one of my favorite things to invest in, especially for people who don't know much about the stock market. Why? Because ETFs track an index. So like the S&P 500 ETF, SPY, or the Vanguard version, VOO, are ETFs that have generated a 9.8% return every single year just because they are diversified in over 502 stocks. So if one goes down, you're not going to see a massive red day. They're diversified, they're meant for growth, and they judge the economy. The economy in the long run always makes money, statistically speaking. So if you're new, you're going to want to invest in ETFs. Now, I believe that is the basics that you need to know. Again, it's explained more in that free course linked below, but let's get into the fundamental section of this video. I believe everyone should use this website, research.tradeking.com. Now, if you try to access this website by typing in research.tradeking.com, it won't let you do it because it says you have to log in. However, if you use the direct link linked below in the description, then it will send you straight to this without having to log in. So if you can see here, this gives you every single piece of information about fundamentals. You have price to earnings, book to value, you have the float, which is great, you have the margins, which I love to see the margins. The margin is how much money the company actually gets to keep like when they sell. And then you also have the earnings and dividends that they announce. You have the 5-year average and you have the dividend yield. And also, fun fact, if the 5-year dividend average is lower than the current, then that means they increase their dividend price. So you want to see that because you want to know that the stock is always continuing to increase their dividend. Now you also have the effectiveness ratios, which would be your return on equity and your return on assets. These are a great feature because it also shows how well a company can use their money to make own money. Now again, if I dedicate a video to just this, it's going to last at least 30 minutes. That's why I created a series on YouTube called The Best Way to Value Stocks. And more importantly, I have created a checklist for you. So again, this is where you go to look at all the fundamentals of a company. I'm about to show you where to get a checklist to understand what all these numbers mean. Now, they also have a tab here called Insiders. Insiders show when prominent individuals in the company, such as the chairman, director, CFO, CEO, etc., buy or sell shares. That is something that you want to pay attention to. If you have a stock and they are buying their own shares back, especially when it's at a low price, that means the upper management believes the company will do well upcoming in the long run. So that means that the company will do well. If the management believes it will, more times than not, it does because they are insiders. So that is all released here and it shows you that. Now let's get into the next thing. Just like I said, This is the ultimate investing checklist right here. This is going to be linked right below that free course. But why I wanted to show you this is because I have this checklist that goes over all the fundamentals, and then I have a 15-minute video in depth explaining exactly how to use the checklist and what each number means. So for instance, right here you can see, can anyone understand the company? It has a high profit margin ratio. You want a low debt to equity ratio, a high return on equity, and more for all the 3 different types of approaches, which is the buy and hold, the dividend, and trend investing. So make sure you check that out if you haven't already. Now let's get into one of the sections that a lot of people love. It is the final section here. It is how to understand a company using technical analysis. This is tradingview.com. This is a free website. Everything that I'm showing you is free because I want to make sure that everyone has access to it. So you may have to make a free account if you want, but it's free. So you go here and you can see what the stock chart is doing. I am using American Tower Corporation, symbol AMT, for this example because it shows exactly what the stock is doing. This is an example of a stock that uptrends well. Now, why am I saying it uptrends well? Because if you look and you connect all these lows, the lows are getting higher. Remember, we mentioned that in a bull market, the lows get higher in addition to the highs. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. The highs get higher as well. So you can see here that the highs are getting higher and the lows are also getting higher. This is the type of stock you want to invest in. When the stock comes down and pulls back on an uptrending stock like AMT, you want to buy it because you know that over the long run it's going to go up. Every time it dips, you buy more and more, and that's how you generate long-term passive income. Why? Because the money's just sitting there increasing in profit. Like let's say you would have bought it here in this dip and you would have waited. Okay, well that next year you would have made 35% on your money. So if you invested $10,000, you would have made $3,500 that year by just letting your money sit there. And then the next year, you now have $13,500 to invest again. So you're making more money on top of that money, which is called compound interest. So again, guys, this is the type of stocks you want to invest in. It's called uptrending stocks. Now, you can tell if a stock is uptrending by the 200-day moving average, which is an indicator that you can add to this chart. What you do here is, sorry, this is in my way, is you go here to indicators and you go here and you type in moving average. When you type in moving average, you just want to click the simple one, and then when you do that, you're going to go here into settings and you're going to adjust it, the inputs, to a length of 200. I'm going to cross this out here because, again, I already have it here. And this shows you the direction of the market. Again, when the stock is above the 200-day moving average, it is to be defined as a bullish stock. It means that it's going to go higher. When it goes below the 200-day moving average, it is referred to as bearish. So an example of this would be with SPY, which is the S&P 500 ETF. Every time the market went below the 200-day moving average, we got put into either a minor recession or depression. So if you can see here, back in 2011, when we went down, we had that minor recession. Right here back in 15-16, you can see here that we had that minor recession as well. And then back here in 14, it actually held the 200-day moving average. And that's why we're continuing to go up, because it never actually dropped that low until around here in December of 2018. So again, guys, this is a prime example of using the 200-day moving average to stay out of bearish markets. An example would be GE, which is General Electric here. Example, it holds below this and it's lost so much value because it's been under this. All right, guys, that is the essence of technical analysis. Now, we're going to go into the top 3 investing approaches. Did I kind of trick you? Well, maybe yes, I did. But these are the top 3 investing strategies. I'm not going to release them per se, but they are all listed right here in a 9-minute video or audio for if you drive a lot for work. And it's all there in the free course. I want to make sure that you get into that because there's so much valuable content on there that you won't even understand. So please make sure you grab that free course if you haven't. So guys, today in this video, we walked through how to open a brokerage, how to analyze the fundamentals and technicals of a company, and I've showed you where to find the top 3 investing strategies. All right, guys, if you have any questions, please follow me on Instagram. Please hit the subscribe button on this YouTube channel. And if you haven't already, go claim that free course and checklist, guys. It is free for you. All right, guys, please hit those alerts so that you get notified of every video I make, because I come out with educational content weekly. All right, guys, see you in the future.